Good afternoon. This is Cindy Moss, and I'm going to give you a quick overview of Chapter 4, the objectives, and what you're going to be looking at in Chapter 4. The four objectives for Chapter 4 are basically covering financial services, including savings accounts and some different kind of payment accounts. The first objective is that you identify some of the commonly used financial services that could include savings accounts, checking accounts, loans, electronic banking is a big one now that most of us are doing all our banking online. So you'll be looking at the different types of financial institutions and what they offer. The second objective is that you look at these different institutions, see what they offer, and do some comparisons. Some of them, of course, include commercial banks such as Wells Fargo, BB&T, community banks, different things like that. Then you have saving and loan associations. They are not as prevalent as they were 10 or 15 years ago, but you can have the opportunity to use those. Then you have credit unions. Credit unions are an excellent way to establish credit, also to be able to finance cars at lower interest rates because they are owner owned, meaning that if you invest in a credit union and you join one, then you are considered an owner. There are investment companies, finance companies, mortgage companies, pawn shops, check cashing outlets. These are some things that you want to avoid. Make sure that you stay out of that trap of rent to own, anything like that. So as you're looking at that, make sure that you understand that none of that is ever free, and sometimes you get in way over your head when you're dealing with pawn shops and um, more check cashing outlets especially, and then run far away from anything connected to rent to own. Objective 3 is to assess the various types of savings plans. Now, I stress this from the last chapter. I know most of you are young college students and you're not married and out on your own, but start now saving money. Start putting, just even if it's just $5 a week away, put it away. Don't touch it. It is there only as a savings account. And then start adding to that weekly. As you go to work, then you increase it. You've got to learn to save your monies and we'll be talking more about investing as we go along. But to invest, you have to have money, and in order to get money, you have to save money. So you want to think about that. Another option that's in this chapter is talking about savings bonds, money market, interest checking account is a good way to make money. So look at all those options and again, decide how you can start to save money again now. And then the last uh, option in this chapter for objectives is payment methods. How are you going to pay for your car loan, anything like that? Where this chapter is talking about debit cards, online payment, and then store value cards such as Kohl's, anything like that. Regular checking accounts, interest earning checking accounts, and everything like that. Um, be careful with ATM cards, because if you have to use an ATM card at a bank other than your own, they do charge you interest, they charge you fees. You don't want to get caught up in having to pay interest. Also, debit cards are a great way to use money without keeping money in your pocket. I like debit cards versus credit cards because if you don't have the money there, then you're not going to be allowed to use your debit card. The only thing, the pro and con on both of those is that credit cards, if you have a specific type, you can get rewards, you can get cash back, but you tend to overspend if you're using credit cards, especially as a young adult. So that basically talks about what's in chapter 4. Again, I want to remind you, for week 4 you have your Learn Smart, you have your quiz, you have a case study on page 135. You're going to answer questions 4 or questions 1 and 2, and then you also again have a discussion board question this week. I have not had a chance to get with Manya Elliott to find out why my discussion boards are not going into groups. So just everyone answer group 1 until I can get with her. Hopefully I can get with her on Monday and we can get this straightened out. Also this week I'm going to send you an example of a few former students' project so that you can look at it. You can see how you're going to do that. I'm going to email you again the questions, what I expect, so that you can start. This is week 4. We're about third way through. You need to be starting on your final projects. Don't wait until the very end. Have a great week, and I will talk with you later.